Hello, darling.
There we go. Hello. How are you today?
I am very well, thanks. How are you doing? You look amazing as usual.
Well, thank you. I
You're
was going to
welcome.
get in the pool today, but it's so windy. I just don't know.
I think you made a good choice. I had this vision of the wind blowing, a baby getting loose, something going crazy, a diaper overflowing, something terribly frightening was going to happen. That once
With
you've
me, you never
seen,
know. Yeah.
once you see it, you can't unsee those kinds of things. And
Yeah, there is that.
the lawsuits would have just been out of control. Hey, it's great to see you on a Tuesday afternoon. Welcome your friends to, we've got a few viewers coming in. Hopefully they'll spread the word that this
Yeah,
is
thanks for
another,
showing up, y'all. I didn't think anybody would come on, so this is awesome. We're going to
yeah, we
talk a little
appreciate
bit
it.
keto, a little bit carnivore, and just kind of have a little chatty talk here.
And you're the host. Did you write down what we were going to talk about?
No, I didn't. It's on your little notepad. I thought about that like 1 minute before I went live. So yeah.
Several scenarios went through my mind just now about what if I tell her I lost the cat ate the notepad? What would she do then? But I'm a little nicer about that. Um, was there anything about KetoVore that you didn't talk about our last time we got together that you'd like to
Let's
go over?
see.
Because you went through a bunch
Mhm.
of stuff, but you also had a lot of stuff that you saw, and I just want to make sure that you got a chance to share all of your experience with everybody.
I'm not sure what I left out, but like I think I've said this before, the main takeaway for me was the sense of community. I mean, it was really amazing to have all these people there. They're so positive, and everybody seems happy and genuinely excited to meet somebody else. You know how a lot of times you're like, oh, I don't really want to have to talk. But there, everybody wants to talk. They're excited because you have so much in common. And that's kind of a unique thing because in the real world, you usually get looks like, are you only just eating meat, or that diet's going to kill you? What about fiber? But these people, they already have the clue, and so it's really awesome to be among people of your own. And speaking of which, I don't think I told you this, but I will be going to CarnivoreCon next year, as well as KetoCon.
Well,
Yep.
see, you did not tell me this. I assume then that you got an inside track on tickets that haven't even been announced yet or something, or
I
you
haven't.
just already carved it into the
I'm
calendar.
I'm planning. Well, I kind of have an inside track with the hubby because see, it's in Colorado. And I
Mhm.
was like, look, we could like drive to Colorado and you could like, go do your thing and I could do the Carnivore Con. And he wasn't too negative about it. He was like, okay. And then my son was like, well, maybe I'll go with y'all. And then dad and I, we can go like do something, go hiking
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, there you
So,
go. There you go. Hello, Caitlin. Thanks for joining us. Grass-fed girl jumped in. Hello, Annie.
hi.
Annie, I can't see the rest of your name, Carnivore Diet Lady. We got some nice folks coming in. We appreciate you stepping in. Um, well, let's talk about some of the things that we've been seeing in carnivory here the last few weeks,
Yes.
couple of weeks, let's say, across social media. And something that I've been noticing across the board in general, and this is not just for carnivore folks, but keto, paleo, low carb in general.
Yes.
A lot of people are really excited and they're extremely gung ho. Yes, this is great. This is awesome. Until they hit the first bump in the road.
Right.
Maybe
Hmm.
they have some loose stool that they misdiagnose as diarrhea, or they get a couple of days where they have headaches. They just don't understand as they're going through adaptation.
Yep.
And then they want to fiddle with things. They want to deviate from the directions of the people who've taught and have been living these ways for, in some cases, maybe 10 or 20 years.
Yeah.
And they wonder why they're floundering, why it's always such a struggle. And something that I've come up with here lately that I'm sharing. Hello, Primal Voyage. Uh, you know, follow the directions, reap the rewards.
For sure.
And you know, there's basic directions to these kinds of things. Now, granted, we're not ever going to eat the same. We're not ever going to eat, you know, my wife does carnivore. She eats different than I do. You do carnivore. You eat different than I do. You're full-fledged keto, just
Yep.
keto, which we'll make that distinction a little clearer here in a little bit. You ate differently than others of your peers.
Absolutely.
It's always very specific to the individual, but there's basic rules and directions that you got to follow to get the benefits.
Right. Or the
And
best results.
and it's so unfortunate to see people struggling when they don't need to be.
Agree. Yeah.
So, you got any other thoughts on that notion? Have you observed any of this yourself?
Oh, oh God, all the time. I think the biggest thing that I see being a woman is that women, it's all about weight loss for the most part. I mean, I'm not saying there's not some that do it for other reasons too, but the main thing I get is weight loss. And like on keto, if you don't lose, 12 pounds in the first week, oh my gosh, it's not working for me. This diet is not working. And that kind of drives me nuts. A lot of people do lose a lot of weight in the very beginning because they're getting rid of all that water. So yeah, some people do have that, and that's great. It's wonderful. But, if you don't have that happen, it just means your body is not ready to do whatever, you want it to do. It has other healing to do first. And, it's that whole patience, my favorite word, but, they're just not giving it enough time. And that's my biggest thing. And then, of course, you always have the, well, can I have this? Can I have that? And they're trying to justify having something when they know, come on, they know that that's probably not the best thing to have. But, you're an adult. You make that choice. And if you do make that choice, you're going to have consequences more than likely. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but there's going to be consequences, and you're going to have to understand that, you're going to have to deal with those consequences. You can't say, oh, well, I had, a piece of cake over the weekend. Why didn't I lose 5 pounds? Well, and they just get so frustrated. And yeah, I see that a whole lot.
Yeah, unfortunately, in my opinion, the most dangerous phrase any human being can ever say is "I want."
Uh-huh.
Because I run into this too, and matter of fact, I made a video I'm going to release later today about it, because I see so many people every day. I can't live without my bulletproof coffee. I can't live without my cheesecake. I can't live without my 6 beers a week. I can't live without this. I can't live without that. Nonsense. You can live without every one of those things.
Yeah.
Cheesecake is not essential to human life. Coffee is not essential to human life.
It's true.
The only thing that's really essential to human life is meat and water when you get down to the brass tacks of the situation. And once you realize that's what works for you, why would you sabotage yourself? Why would you set yourself up for failure by putting something, oh, Brett, don't you have cheat days? Well, cheating implies gaining an advantage. What advantage is there?
There's not.
For any of us
There's
to put
not.
garbage into our mouth.
No.
I mean, a moment's worth of, for me, that wouldn't, if I ate a piece of cake at somebody's reunion, that wouldn't just affect me. That would affect my whole family.
Yeah.
That would affect everybody within 50 feet of me within 5 minutes, because my behavior would just collapse. It would just be so fast it would blow your mind. But we see this day in and day out.
Yeah.
Guys, you don't have to do that. You just don't have to. Somebody's saying cheat days to feel sick. No thanks, carnivore for life. That's the perfect attitude. That's the perfect attitude, because, well, somebody's saying they screwed up last weekend and they're paying for it. Well, learn from the experience. Some of us have to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
In this, I've been fortunate because I don't want to ever be crazy again. I don't want to risk it. And we know from other people's experiences that what we've gained can be lost.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe we don't get it back, or we don't get it back as fast or as
Yeah.
easy or in the same way. Who wants to subject? Why subject yourself to that?
Oh, I
I've talked
think,
long enough.
I think, and I struggle with this too. I'll be honest. The thing that saves me is that I am so OCD, and when I decide I'm going to do something, I go for it 150%. You better get out of my way. And, especially if you tell me I can't, oh, watch me. And so I will, dedicate myself to bam, and I do it. I will suffer. Oh my gosh, I will suffer. I will be miserable. I will be angry, but by golly, I will do it. And for me, so much of that was like a feeling of deprivation, and it got so much to me because I felt like I couldn't have it and other people could. And I think I've mentioned this before, that I would even be jealous watching overweight people stuff their face with things that I used to enjoy. And I would be upset about that, thinking they're so lucky. I mean, that goes to tell you it's a mindset. And until I could get over the food addiction, get over the feeling of deprivation, the feeling of constant starvation, which I did. I starved myself for 40 years off and on. And until I got that under control, and I did that through keto because I was also always satiated, that food didn't have the same appeal to me because I was satisfied. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't miserable. I didn't feel deprived. And so it was easy for me. So now, I can kind of have your attitude, where it's like, well, why would you do that to yourself? But you know what? I was there. I did it. I get it. So I can sympathize, both ways. Now I won't do that to myself. I mean, I'm not saying that I would never ever do something that is, not on plan or what I should be doing for my body, because I'm human. I'm going to do it. I know I will. But I also understand when I do it that I'm going to have consequences, and I better be ready to deal with those consequences and not whine about it. So, you're an adult. You got to, pick and choose. Do you want your health? Or do you want, that little bit of moment of sweet in your mouth? How important is it? You decide,
Yeah, that dovetails really nice with that meme that you made that we've kind of collaborated on here the last couple of days. Do you want to be healthy, or do you want your last thoughts in life to be about that sweet taste of death in your mouth right before you pass from this side of the grass to the other side of the grass?
Exactly.
Somebody asked a question, and anybody else in chat who has questions, don't hesitate to ask, because we want your questions. We want you to participate and be a part of the discussion. Somebody wants to know, do we have any feelings on veggie burgers?
You
Amber,
did not just ask that.
Would you like to start on that, or would you like for me to go first?
I better go, because you're going to go on a rant, I'm sure. Okay, veggie burgers. Okay, first of all, flip over that package and look at the ingredients. Oh my goodness. They have so much crap in there, it's not even funny. I don't even know how they really call it a veggie burger, to be honest. I mean, they have the bad seed oils in there. They have stuff like maltodextrin in there. It's so much ingredients that it is a Franken food. It is not real food. Maybe if somebody made a homemade burger and it was honestly veggies, if that's your thing, okay. But the stuff you get in the store, especially that one that just came out, what is it called? The real meat? I don't know, whatever that weird thing is. Look at the ingredients. That's all I got to tell you. Just look at the ingredients. Okay, your turn.
If it didn't walk around on the earth, if it didn't swim in the water or fly in the air and lay an egg, I'm not putting it in my mouth. If it was made in a lab, which this stuff was concocted in a lab.
Oh, it's so bad.
I mean, folks, it's got sawdust in it. It's called cellulose, but it's sawdust. It's garbage. It's nothing but pure soy seed oil slop. It's not human food. It has no nutrition that you could possibly absorb, because none of that stuff is bioavailable except for all the toxins that are included into that noxious goo.
Yes.
I mean, a job I had, this wasn't a burger. This was a vegan pizza that I was supposed to, this was several months ago when I was working that first job I took after I got my health back, got my sanity back, and I'm giving away samples in this big box grocery store. And I had to make these frozen pizzas, and those are all garbage anyway, but I had to make this vegan one, and it didn't even look, it looked worse than the stuff that other people eat that I wouldn't put in my mouth, but it wasn't vegan.
Right.
But this looked like part of a compressed automobile tire with some fake cardboard looking substance that was, I guess, supposed to be the crust. Well, I had made myself a promise when I first took that job that I wouldn't give out things that I didn't think were fit for people to eat, regardless of what I ate.
Right.
But this smelled so bad after I followed the directions, the heating instructions, cooked it in the little oven, and you could call cooking that cooking. And it smelled so awful. It looked so terrible. It went in the trash immediately because why would you give somebody something like that and say, here, try this. You might like it if it doesn't kill you. So that's what I think about the veggie burger. Eat the real thing.
For
we got
sure.
another quick question that's an easy answer. Any update on the Midwest Carnivore shirt? Not at present, because the good Lord hasn't given us a majestic carnivore for the Midwest that I'm aware of yet. The closest
I'm still waiting for my Southern one.
Well, I am too, because once
yeah.
again, that issue. What's the majestic Southern carnivore? We don't know. There's no agreement on that. So I'm thinking, though, for bison, we might be able to for the Midwest, we might be able to come up with bison, since they're also making a comeback. But I'm going to check with my wife, the designer, because, see, I'm not the designer. I'm the promoter guy. If you're waiting on me to design shirts or come up with something, you're going to be waiting a long time, unless crayons are allowed. Okay. Moving right along.
Yes.
You have not had caffeine for a while for the first time in...
Well, I was never that big in caffeine, to be honest with you. I only had it on weekends in a bang. I used to drink coffee, but if I could get it decaf, I would. I'm not big into caffeine, to be honest with you. I mean, I had tea when we go out to eat. I don't even do that anymore. But honestly, it's kind of more for oxalate type reasons. So I'm like a little more free. I'm not so worried about caffeine as I am the other additive stuff for the,
Well, I would just say that's giving up caffeine is always a good idea. Andrew Gaff, who's done the rounds of the podcast, I can't remember. He's an entomologist, but I can't remember his name off the top of my head. His screen name that he uses is really good. But he's the guy who convinced my wife to give up caffeine, because it's definitely not good for people suffering from arthritis in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that before.
Oh, yeah. It's bad news. It's really bad news. Because actually, the alertness that you get from caffeine is your body responding to the toxic effects of caffeine. That's where that high comes from. So you're not really doing yourself any favors with that on any level. I was just curious, have you noticed any changes in any way since you stopped consuming it at all?
Nah, I didn't have enough of it. I don't think I would notice.
Well, it's different.
If I had it every day.
Yeah, but it's different for everybody. We all respond to those things a little differently. Someone's saying one of their goals is they're going through a fast right now is giving up caffeine. Well, I applaud the giving up caffeine always, big time. Let's see. What else can we talk about? What's the most frustrating thing you've run into in dealing with people these past couple of 3 months since you've come out publicly promoting your ketogenic carnivore lifestyle. We talked about this at length in
Yeah.
private.
Oh, yeah. It I just don't understand people who feel the need to, I guess the word is school you when they think they know more than you, and you know maybe they do, but they have nothing to back it up when they throw it out there and accuse me of things and call me names. And I'm like, well, show me your proof. I'm open. I'll listen. I'm learning. I mean, we all are learning. New things come out all the time. Maybe I didn't see the newest whatever. And if you can, justify what you're saying, okay. But I don't really think it has to be ugly. I mean, and right out there for everybody to see, being called names and, and my favorite, of course, is when you get attacked by those that think you're evil because you eat animal food. That's my favorite. I'm evil. I look like death. I just don't know.
Yeah, the scurvy's obviously got
The
its
scurvy, yeah.
grip on you big time, Amber. I mean,
Yeah.
you
And
just
fiber, the lack of fiber. I'm going to fall over and die because my bacteria in my gut are not getting fed because I'm not eating fiber. Seriously.
I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. Here's what I've observed. These people will it's almost like they're trying to, because they have nothing in their lives that's fulfilling, they want to try to tear down anything good that they come in contact with. That's what it looks like to me in a lot of these cases, because like, for instance, the person you were talking about that was say, well, what's your bacteria going to eat? Well, you know what? There's some bacteria I don't want in my gut. And any bacteria that eats plants, I don't want it in there. I
Yeah,
want
you
it
don't need it
dead
there.
and gone. I only want the stuff that makes my body happy, that processes the meat I eat, and spreads the love wherever it's supposed to go with all that beautiful nutrition. Meat has the most absorbable human nutrition on planet Earth. You can't get more nutrition out of any plant. You can't stack enough plants high enough to get the
No.
same kind of nutrition out of that you can get out of meat. It's just impossible. And you know what? If you could get the same kind of nutrition out of plants and there weren't all those toxins in plants that cause all this metabolic syndrome and causes our intestines to shred and our digestive tract to be inflamed all the time. It gives us colon cancer, diverticulitis, ulcerative colitis, all that lovely stuff.
Hashimoto's. I just found
Hashimoto's.
out that was a big one. Eating people who eat a lot of plants
Oh, yeah.
can end up with that. I didn't realize that. I didn't know. My mom has that really severe, and she used to eat rabbit food all the time, trying to lose weight constantly. And so it was always salads, very little meat. And
She never
I,
lost any weight either, did she?
she would, but then it's kind of back and forth, back
Oh,
and
she
forth.
starved herself she
Yeah,
starved a few
yeah,
pounds of weight. Is that it?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's, we all know how sustainable that is, don't we?
It's
Because we've
not.
all done it. I've done it. You've done it. We've all done it.
Oh yeah,
And
for a very long
we've all
time.
failed at it miserably
Yes.
because it's a no-win situation. I just, if you can thrive, I don't really care what somebody else eats. If
Yeah,
Amber,
exactly.
as sad as I would be that she would choose to do this to herself, but if Amber calls me up tomorrow and says, hey man, I've seen the light, I'm going to go vegetarian and just eat eggs and get all my protein from eggs, and I'm not going to do this carnivore thing anymore because I'm happier this way. And I'd be like, well, okay, Amber, good luck.
Yeah.
What am I
Well,
going to say? Don't?
you're an adult. You get to choose, and if you thrive on that way, well, good for you. Just do some research and just make sure, that, and you do have to go by how you feel. And if you're honest with yourself and you really do feel good, maybe that is what's right for you. I mean, who's to say? Maybe some bodies can process, plants better than others. That's a fact. And, maybe it's doing you good too. I don't know. All I know is I'm doing a lot better without it, digestive wise, especially. So,
Yeah, I don't see the change that's come over you just in this 90 plus days or however many days it's been now. I can't keep track of everybody else's. My numbers are getting too big for me to keep track of. How many days are in a year, Brett? Uh, but the changes in you, the visible changes, your rosacea has improved dramatically. You're obviously
mm,
more confident. A lot of people won't
sure.
realize this, but when Amber and I first started talking, all you saw on screen was her head. You didn't see her shoulders. You didn't even really see much of her hair because
And
everything
I
was
was like,
pulled back. And you just saw like this much of Amber. That was all you saw, was this part here.
mm-hmm.
And she's confident. She's making videos now. And people focus so much on weight loss, but carnivory is about so much more than weight loss.
Oh yeah. I think actually it's about healing, period. I mean, the weight loss, yeah, I suppose that'll come in time, but I mean, I think it's just such a healing thing. It's just so much more. Weight loss is just a little tiny part of it. So,
Because ultimately, if you don't take care of the underlying problems
mm,
that put you up there in the obese range anyway, then you're going to end up right back there where you started over
yeah.
time, because you can't, just like you can't exercise away a bad diet.
Mm-mm, I tried.
If you're
Mm-mm,
not dealing with the root causes of your arthritis, your depression,
right.
the inflammation that's the underlying cause of the majority of these metabolic disorders, you're just going to keep on
Exactly.
suffering to varying degrees. But when
Yeah.
you only put nutrition into your mouth
Mm-hmm.
and stop all the other toxins, just nutrition and water,
Yeah.
it's incredible. I mean, it's really incredible
It,
what
it
can happen.
is. It makes you feel good though that you are doing what's right for your body. And the one thing I can't stress enough, and I am very guilty of this too, I want things to happen like today. I don't have time. I want today. But you got to be patient, especially if you have just messed your body up for so many years. I mean, for 40 years, I've been metabolically jacked up. And so I can't really expect for everything to be just cured in a week and lose all the weight too. I mean, that's just not logical. But if you just have a little bit of patience and allow your body to heal, just think of that. Healing, that is like miraculous to me. It's healing. And even though you may not see stuff on the outside, there's good stuff happening on the inside. And focus on that. The other will come. I mean, I know you want it now. I know you want to be in that bikini or that Speedo or whatever this summer, but next summer you might be just a rock in it, healthy, happy, confident, and the nice body. Just give it time, give it patience. I mean, I hate that word too. I do, but it's the truth. Just focus on what's going on in the inside. So, so important.
I can't agree more, and it kind of dovetails back to what we were talking about earlier about people when they hit their first little bump in the road on
Hmm.
their carnivorous or ketogenic journey. They want to start jerking around with things. They want to start twisting knobs that should not be messed
Yeah,
with. They don't ever give their body a chance to
right,
adapt.
right,
And they assume, well, Brett lost his depression symptoms after 24 days. It's been 28 days for me, so
right.
this just isn't going to work.
Yeah,
It's nonsense, because we all heal at different speeds, at different times. We heal at different rates for the same illnesses. I mean,
oh
it's all
yeah,
so specific to the person. And I've talked to people who've been living this way, eating meat, drinking water for 10 and 20 years. And their observations are that it can take between 3 and 5 years for your body to fully, completely heal and adapt. So if
hmm,
you're after 30 or 90 days or 6 months and you're frustrated, well, I'm sorry you're frustrated, but there might be some reasons why you're not
Exactly.
progressing the way you think you should. And you just might have to be patient, like Amber said.
Hmm.
Your body's
Yeah.
not, it's dealing. Lots of times we don't really know what's going on inside us, what's
Mm-mm.
required just to keep us operational,
No, we really don't.
just to keep us functioning on a level that we think is acceptable when we could be performing way up here because we've been way down here due to our crappy diet all of our life.
And you're
It's
actually fixing that underlying issue that you were talking about earlier. And
big
once you
time.
fix that, then everything else is kind of almost effortless. But you got to give it that time to get to that point. And that's one reason why I know what you think about fasting, but I'm a faster, and my
Well,
longest fast has been 72 hours. But
let's quibble about that for just a moment.
okay.
See, what you call fasting, to me, 72 hours, denying yourself nutrition for 72 hours, that's fasting. If you're only hungry once a day, that's OMAD. That's one meal a day. That's not fasting. There's very different things because as I was taught, and as we've gone over before, and I
Mm-hmm.
just posted a real simple, the basic directions on how to do the carnivore diet are so simple. You
Very.
only eat when you're hungry. So if you're only hungry once a day, then you're not fasting.
Well, yeah, if you think about it that way, that's true. And that's pretty much what I did. Mine was very organic because when I was on keto, it was such a mind-boggling thing that I wasn't hungry because I was always starving when I was on a quote diet. And I would just, not want to eat. Like I physically couldn't put food in my mouth because I didn't want it. And I don't think I had ever felt that, maybe as a young kid or something. But yeah, so that was like real eye-opening for me. And going to OMAD, that was completely normal. I wasn't like going, oh my gosh, I got 2 hours left, I can't eat. It was like, oh, hey, I'm starting to get a little hungry. Oh, okay, time to eat my dinner, and that's pretty much what I do now with carnivore. I know that, and this is where I was going with this whole thing. I feel like I'm still adapting, which would be logical. I'm coming up on 4 months, so I still have, lots to do, even though I was on keto for 2 years. And I need to let that heal because I know that I would be hungry come a certain part of the day. And obviously that means I need to eat them because I'm pretty in tune with my hunger now. It's different. It's not a boredom. It's not emotional eating. It's because I'm hungry. And I know that my body's not ready to fast. I believe in fasting. I think it's a great thing. But for me right now, because I'm still healing, still adapting, even though I did keto for so long, and I was a strict keto person, I really was. Um, I still need to, let my body finish doing what it needs to inside before I take the next step, like what you were talking about. People are already trying to tweak before they give it enough time for it to work. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like I kind of really wanted to get in on a fast, but then I was like, my body is still not ready. I'm pretty sure that I would be miserable because I would be hungry. And then that means I'm denying myself, which puts me back into all kinds of not good areas. So,
Yeah, I think I've said it many times before. I was taught you only eat when you're hungry. You do not just deny yourself nutrition because your hunger signals is your body's natural way of saying, hey, it's time to put some fuel in the engine. And, if you want the healing, the natural healing that takes place in everyday existence in your body to occur, you need to provide it with the nutrition to make it happen. Otherwise,
yeah.
you put yourself at risk. And in this day and age, I just don't see the need for it, unless you're under the care of a physician. Now, if you're under the care of a physician and you're working on something real specific, have at it. But to hop on a 30-day or 7-day fast craze just because somebody said, hey, let's all do this stupid thing together, I don't ever advocate that. I
Well,
think that
I,
puts I
I,
think that puts everybody that puts people who are unknowledgeable at risk. That puts all sorts of people at unnecessary risk because there's not a good, well-defined medical reason that's been determined by a licensed physician who, in this case, I think you really want to have for that kind of choice. Because 72 hours is one thing. 165 hours is something altogether different.
Yeah, you know, I am a faster. You know that. I kind of have a little bit of a different take on that. I do believe there's a lot of really good benefits to it, and I think that has a lot to do with why I don't have a lot of excess skin after losing over 120 pounds. So I do believe in it, but I do think you need to be very educated on it. You need to do your research. You can't just be a sad eater and then decide I'm going to fast for, a month. That is not going to be good. I went through a process. I mean, I was low carb, then I was keto, then I did intermittent fasting, then I did a longer fast, and I was very fat adapted. I understood what my body was doing. I knew the signs to look for in case, my body went into, danger zone. I knew what to look for, and so I knew when to stop. I've never had an issue. So I think if you're educated and you're at the right point in your, nutritional journey, then I think, it's okay. But, the longer ones, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've only done a 72 and it was not a problem. But I don't know. Maybe longer I would have had a problem, but you know what? I'm smart enough to stop though. And, hopefully most people are intelligent enough to realize when they get to a point, I would think you would know your body enough to go, I need to stop now. And I've been seeing a lot of people who are doing a longer fast, and they're going, oh, I had to stop here because my body said this. And in that case, that's good. I mean, I think, that means you're in tune with your body. You've done your research. You know what you're doing. So in that sense, I think it's okay, I know you're not a big fan.
It's okay. We don't have to agree on everything. It's all right. It's not a problem. The only thing that I would say is follow the directions, reap the rewards.
For sure.
And
That's
if you're
exactly
following
right.
the directions, that's something else I wanted to touch on too, because it's my observation that a lot of people who have problems with any of these low-carb ketogenic diets, of which a lot of people forget, the carnivore way of eating is a ketogenic diet. It's zero
Right.
carb. I'm in a state of ketosis every day without fail, just by nature of the fact I don't consume carbs. Amber's the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much
What about all the
everybody.
protein? What about gluconeogenesis?
It's demand driven. It's nothing to worry about. You know that, darling.
Of course I do.
And you made me forget what I was
I'm
going
sorry.
with it. It's okay. We'll get around to it eventually. Listen, we've had some other people come in to chat. I appreciate it. Vic Cosmetics, it's always good to see you around. You always have some great comments and some great questions. But if any of y'all have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We'll stop and ask your all's questions in the middle of what we're talking about from time to time.
Did a question come through?
No, nobody had a question. I was just suggesting.
I thought I saw something.
Well, if you scroll back and you find one, dear, then we'll answer it.
Oh, beef and butter fast is big at the moment. It's been big for a long time, and to be honest, I've done both. I have. But I think I only did it
A
3
beef
days,
and butter fast? Is that where you only eat beef and butter?
which is basically what we do. So it's really not a big deal. It's basically carnivore. It is carnivore.
It is
So
carnivore.
that's fine. But and technically the egg fast is too. I mean,
Yeah,
of
technically it
course,
is because it's animal source
right.
food. Somebody's asking, why is grass-fed beef better than corn-fed beef? I have not ever knowingly purchased and consumed grass-fed beef because it costs too much money.
It does.
And everything I've read suggests that it's very individual specific about whether it's an improvement or not. I am thriving on whatever meat is on sale. I am thriving on that tube of 90-10 ground beef that you see me get and take a picture of every week. And it's not grass fed, to my knowledge. And none of the bacon is, because it would be out of our price range.
Oh, and they would plaster it real big on the package to make sure you knew that. So yeah,
Oh yeah, big time. It's not, they can't charge you no more money for it unless they tell you it's there.
that's exactly right.
I feel amazing. I have no complaints. I don't feel deficient in any way, shape, or form. My strength is continuing to improve as I work out and regrow my body and just feed it nutrition. I don't see the need to spend more money on something just because it was grass fed. Now, you on occasion will buy grass fed.
I do. I've been experimenting. I'm trying to venture out there. I'm trying to, try different stuff. And so occasionally, if I come across something that's grass fed, I'll get it. And I've been getting like ground lamb, bison, elk. Um, we have a freezer full of venison, so that's never a problem. I've grown up on venison, but yeah, I'm kind of wanting to just try stuff. And yeah, I've tried a few things that are not good, like some organ meats, like liver. No, mm-mm, no. Sardines, no. Those are so vile. I would have to consider if it was a life or death situation. I would actually have to consider if I was going to eat that or not. It was that vile. But yeah,
That look on your
grass fed.
face,
Yeah,
that look on your face that day was beautiful, though. I'm
yeah,
here
that
to
was
say
pretty
that was a
funny.
great video to watch. That was truly, that was, you gave it your all.
I did. I tried. I did. I really did. Yeah. But as far I'm with Brett though, as far as needing grass fed, I don't really believe it's necessary. If you can afford it, sure, go for it. But I think most of us probably will be just fine on your regular, ground beef
Yeah,
or
yeah. The only thing I don't
whatever.
want is I don't want the animal that I'm eating tortured because that makes the meat
Right.
tougher.
Right. Yeah.
It makes the meat tougher, and there's just no reason to make the meat tougher if you
Yeah.
could avoid it. I see no need in that, and it's as we know from these regenerative farmers who got livestock and they're replenishing the land here and there in these different areas. There's these people fighting really hard to heal the earth with regenerative farming with cattle
Hmm.
and horses and other ruminant animals. And
Yes.
it's really something to see when you see the difference in the root structure in animal grasslands
I saw that one. Yeah.
versus monocrop root structures, which go down the roots are about this deep. And then
Yeah.
in the grassland, the roots are like 12 to 20 feet long. And it just goes to show the difference. That's why these grasslands survive year after year, hundreds and thousands of years of ruminant
Hmm.
animals walking across them and eating from them. And they never, as long as there's enough rain, they just never, they just thrive. Those grasslands never really
Right.
go bad. Uh,
Yep.
I think it's an important thing that people need to look at.
I
Just
agree.
Okay, we got about 16 minutes left here. I want to again, we got some new people come in to chat. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We'll be happy to answer them. Um,
Oh, have there
you'll,
been research studies about this? Are you talking about grass-fed versus?
yeah, that's what she's talking about. Some people report. I know Dave Feldman's does some study, done his N equals one stuff on himself, and I don't think that there's really been any evidence to show that there's any big improvement. It's going to be to the individual. Some people like
Yeah,
it better, but has there been a study that shows definitively? No. There's not
I
been
haven't
any
seen
random
one, but
control studies done on carnivores either because
exactly.
nobody's going to do them. Who's
Very
going to give
true.
up 30 years of their life and let strangers observe and catalog everything they eat, every meal, every day? It's not going to happen.
Well, they could just give us a little
A
fill in
questionnaire,
the questionnaire. Yeah.
make it an epidemiological study? Is that what you're
Yeah.
suggesting?
Yes, because
That
those are
has
so reliable.
almost no scientific value whatsoever?
Oh, now, come on. It's not that bad. Surely people can remember what they ate for 20 years.
What they ate on a Thursday, a specific Thursday in April 20 years ago, they can remember that. How many ounces of fruit they consumed
Absolutely,
that
because they
day.
weighed their food too.
And they knew whether it was an apple or whether it was a banana.
Yes, for sure. Okay, I might be making a little fun of that, but
Might be just a little bit, just a
a little
little
bit.
teeny tiny bit. Some other things that we could talk about as far as the carnivore thing. Have you thought about, or when was the last time you had blood work done?
Oh God, probably so long ago. I don't even know.
That's how it's
I
been
don't know.
oh, actually, I do know how long it's been. It's
5
been
years?
since 2016 is the last time I had blood work drawn.
Okay, you're not too much better than me.
But that was when the little doctor down the street, like a block and a half away from where I sit, told me he wanted me to go on a statin because my blood pressure had a little white coat blood pressure going on, high anxiety. It was like 135/85. Oh, you need to go on a statin right now. You need to do that. Your cholesterol is just too high. Your blood pressure is not good. And I
Yeah.
was pre-diabetic. I'd been on the white chocolate binge. 2016 was the year of the white chocolate binge. But he just looked at it and he said, you can't change it. 90% of the people with your numbers can't change it with diet and exercise. And I thought, you little gnarly little SOB. Just
Watch me.
And I haven't
Yep.
been back. But the reason why I asked that is as I'm coming up on, a lot of you may know, some of you may not. Some of you may not care. 1 year or 1 week from today will be my 1 year carniversary eating
And my
and drinking
birthday.
water.
My birthday.
On her birthday, no less.
Yeah. It's a good
So
day.
Amber gets older and
Hey now.
she's still a lot younger than I am, though. And she looks it, too. But so I've been thinking a lot about these things, over the course of a year, all the changes that have been made and all the things that we've learned collectively. And
Yeah.
people asking me, how big a deal are you going to make of it? And part of me is like, well, it really, I could see it just another day because I'm only going to do the same thing a week from today that I've done every day since I started. I'm going to eat meat and I'm going to drink water. And I'm going to be thankful that I learned about it in time.
For sure.
Because, I can't possibly share everything I've learned over the course of that year unless I want to do an all-day video that nobody's going to. God, is he still talking? Oh, geez.
And he would. He so seriously would.
No, I don't want to talk that long by myself. I don't want to talk that long with somebody else. It's just too long.
Okay.
But my point is there's so much that we don't know. I mean, I've barely scratched the surface about what I'm capable of. And you're going to be 53. I'm 58. According to all the norms, my life is more than half over. But I don't feel like it's more than half over.
Oh, God, me either. I feel like I'm just now living.
I feel like I've just started. Literally, I've just started. Hello, Happy Belly Supper Club lady. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. It's always nice to have you around. But I don't feel like that's something I want to impress upon because, let's face it, most of the folks that we see in this are 40, 45 and older. We see a few people younger than that, but not many.
Right.
Because the metabolic syndrome really doesn't start kicking your backside until you hit 50, it seems. Around 50s when the pain really starts to come.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, especially with diabetes. With me, it was when my depression really went into psycho overdrive.
And it's really sad that something major has to happen to kick your butt in gear. For me, it was pre-diabetes and ridiculously high blood pressure, like 210/110. It was ridiculously high. Yeah, I almost was hospitalized for that one. But it scared me so bad that it kicked my butt in gear. And it's just a shame that it takes something like that to wake you up. Because when you're younger, when you can actually make the difference and not ever have to deal with it, you're too, that'll never happen to me, I'm, they have that attitude.
I'll
Yeah,
never
that
get
kind of
fat like
thing.
my
It's like,
parents.
yeah,
That'll never happen.
exactly. And
I'm
then it
never going to.
happens and it's too late. I mean, they've already got it. So now they have to go in repair mode instead of, just humming along for all that time. And it's just kind of a shame. But unfortunately, I think that's just the way we, humans do things.
Well,
But
I think it's very important for all of us in the low carb, ketogenic, carnivore community to remind not just ourselves and each other, but to folks coming into this way of eating. It really is a new life. It
it
really
is.
is like starting over
It is.
in the most wonderful way you could ever imagine.
That's the
Because,
truth.
I mean, I look in the mirror and I see a 58-year-old guy. I mean, look at me. I got the bald head, I got the gray and everything, but I don't feel like a 58-year-old guy. I feel like I haven't felt this good since I was 20. And I'm not exaggerating. And I know that if I keep working hard at rebuilding my body and keep going to the gym and keep
Hmm.
just putting nutrition into my mouth, that, eventually my heart will stop. It will wear out and quit beating. But it won't be because I poisoned it.
Right.
It won't be because I followed bad advice and took statins and started working against my physiology. Yeah,
That's
let's go
exactly
on a
right.
low-fat diet and deny our brain the ability to create energy. Yeah, that's a real smart
Mm-mm.
move. Well,
Mm-mm.
we're not
Yeah,
going to be
that's
doing that.
horrible.
And we've seen recently this picture going around of a healthy-looking older woman who's wearing boxing gloves.
Oh, yeah,
And right
yeah.
next to her, and she's in her she's like 74 years old. And then sitting, and next to her is another 74-year-old woman who's basically waiting to die, sitting there looking out the window,
Yeah.
looking like she's waiting to die.
Yeah. Which one do you want to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I make it to 70. I'm going to be that old guy who's hopefully we're living where we want to live and who's just chopping wood and splitting logs and not thinking anything about it because it needs to be done and I'm the one to do it because I have
Exactly.
the energy to do it. And I'm not consumed with inflammation and joint pain. Why
That's
not?
exactly right. And I
Why
plan
not?
on being one of them crazy women who get out there and dance with the young ones. Well, I kind of already am that.
Yes,
But
you
I'm
are.
talking like really old. I plan on still being out on that floor doing the wobble or whatever else is popular at the time. I will so do it. I will too. And my kids know it too. And they're like, oh, mother. But, I will. I will. And I'm going to be healthy enough to be able to do it and confident
Because,
enough that I don't care.
oh, exactly. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
How when we were sick and obese, we really cared about what other people thought of us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now that we're healthy and we've both undergone amazing physical transformations, but we're not even thinking about that, are we? I mean, well,
No,
you
not
probably are.
really.
You might be a little vainer than me.
Well,
Okay?
yeah, because, being female, come on.
Yeah, it is a lot harder. It's
You're
a lot.
so much more judged on the way you look.
That's very true. And I've noticed that men, heavy men who let themselves go, nobody really seems to care about that. But for women,
It's the
it's
truth.
a lot
Yeah.
harder, and it's terribly unfair because in reality, you all have a harder time maintaining your weight for hormonal reasons than
Oh, God,
guys do.
yes.
It's
Yes.
easier for guys to stay in shape than it is for women because we don't have as many hormonal issues to deal with.
Very, very true. So props to you ladies.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why, it's insane to think even in your own home that you're all going to eat the same. Danielle
Right.
doesn't do carnivore the way I do.
Yeah. I'm the only
Occasionally,
carnivore, so.
occasionally she'll eat the same thing for maybe one or two meals, but she's not staying where I'm at. She likes to keep different things on her plate revolving around. Me,
Yeah.
I just want what I want. I know it works. I don't need anything else.
Good grief, I'm getting as bad as you are. Because
Do what?
I'm getting as bad as you are about the same thing. But then again, I was always kind of that person who, a specific restaurant, I always ate the same thing. I got made fun of that all the time. And like the waiters, they already knew my order. They didn't even ask, they just brought it. And stuff like that. But I've really settled on the burger and bacon. That's what I eat 90% of the time. On weekends, like Friday, Saturday night, my husband usually will take me either to Tex-Mex and I'll get beef fajitas, no oil, no onions, no beans, no rice, no tortillas, the whole shebang. Or I'll have a filet with bacon. I'd have no sides. I just have my filet and I ask for bacon. And I've only been denied one time. So you can ask for what you want. You might get denied, but you can ask.
Somebody just said, want to say thank you all for the live stream. Hey, Aunt, we appreciate you coming by.
Yes, thank you so
We're going to
much.
be doing our next one Friday. Are we doing it Thursday or Friday? I forgot.
Thursday at
Thursday evening.
6.
Thursday
Yes,
evening. So
yes.
it'll be at 7 or 8 p.m. Central. It'll be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Oh, I thought it was 6 Central. So you want to be at 8 o'clock your time?
Well, yeah,
That's your,
I could know you on
mhm.
Tuesday and Thursdays. It's okay. Trust me.
Oh, okay. You know where I was going.
I know where you were going. It's okay. Everything's fine.
Okay. All right. If it's okay with you. All
I'll
right.
explain the schedule in greater detail to you at another time.
All right. Sounds good.
Listen, we
Thank
got
y'all for
about
showing up. That was really
yeah,
great.
we got
I
about
thought nobody would come on.
and
But
Amber's first time. Amber's played host, and you've done a great
yeah,
job. You've
it
been
was kind of a
good.
little intimidating, but yeah.
Oh, you're doing fine. You've been outstanding. Um, but we appreciate y'all coming by. Eventually, these are all going to be uploaded to the KetovoreKast YouTube page, and we'll let everybody know. But we're going to try, at least for the first several months, we're going to do these live here because we want you all to participate.
And get some
And we,
feedback and some questions and all that.
yeah, so don't hesitate. If you got any ideas, any suggestions, you saw something you liked, saw something you didn't like.
I'm not eating sardines again, though.
No,
Nope.
she's not
Not
eating
going
those
to do that.
sardines again.
Mm-mm. No.
And I'm not, well, I've never had sardines to my knowledge. So I don't know if I like
Oh,
them or not.
please do try them for me. That would be awesome.
And we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see on that. We got about 3 minutes left. Is there anything else? Where can everybody, what's all your social media?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that comment.
Tell everybody where they can find you at, Amber.
Oh, okay. On Instagram, obviously, if you're here, you probably know, Lone Star Keto Girl. And on Twitter, it's lone_star_keto. And I also have a website, lone-star-keto.com. So,
And you can find me on Instagram at thankful.carnivore. You can find me on Facebook at Thankful Carnivore. And on Twitter, where the savages reside. You can find me at Stickman Bleeding. It's StickmanBleedin. Come by if you ever have any questions. Don't hesitate to ask. What about you? You've got a website too, or I can't remember. Has it got 97 hyphens in it as well?
I said it at lone-star-keto.com.
Okay, very good. And you can check out me and my wife's blog, The Carnivore Way, at artlife.us. And learn about other things there that I won't ever really talk about in these discussions, but y'all can find it.
Sure.
Hey, we got less than a minute left. I guess I'll talk to you later, Mrs. Amber.
Yes, it was great.
We
Thanks
appreciate
all of y'all for coming. That means a lot. And I'm glad we got some participation. That's really awesome. Please feel free to ask us whatever.
Yeah, we
You
thank
may not
y'all.
answer it, but you can ask it.
Y'all have a
No.
great day. Amber, it's up to you now as the host
Okay.
to shut it
Gotcha.
down and save everything. And we'll see you guys the next time. Take care and be
Thank
thankful.
you. Bye.